allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, any community forum tonight? Hearing none. Conflict of interest declarations. Do I have a motion to adopt the agenda as printed? Thank you. Motion by Ashley, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Terry. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Do you want to take celebrations off of there? And then they can do it in their reports. Does that work?
Yep.
Okay. Administrative reports. Business manager?
So basically, I just want to make mention that there will be no school board election this year, and that it will be Ashley and Jamie and Tara that the competition, so they'll all be back on. And that's all I have.
Okay, thank you. Leslie?
I'm sorry for the length, but there's a lot going on. Celebrations, a couple seasons finished up here this last week. Girls basketball, boys basketball, wrestlers, kind of winding down our winter sports. I want to, shout out to Jackson Carter for runner-up at state, and Camille Rerig also competed at the state wrestling tournament and did very well. So those students, and then obviously our girls basketball team and our boys basketball team wrapped up their seasons. So powerlifters, you can see in the notes, they attended the state powerlifting contest, and we had they placed in their weight class, and that's a club sport, but they were very happy with the results there. On February 14th, we had our family engagement professional development with our staff, and we worked through the 4 core beliefs, and these are what we're gonna kind of work through in the next 3 years for sure, and maybe after that continue, we'll see. But remember, it's not a marathon, or it's a marathon, not a sprint. We're making changes as we go, and but I put those in our newsletter also, so hopefully parents can see that. On February 26th, Mrs. Stevens and I took the juniors to the CTE tour to see the facilities in Huron, and very impressive. After we came back, we had a lot of students that had a lot of questions and interested in what's offered there, and this week I will be sending out a survey to our students to see which classes they want to look at taking, and then we'll have to, we only get 1 seat in each of those classes, so then we'll have to, basically have an application if we have more than 1 person that wants to take that class, and decide who would get that seat. If another school does not use their seat, we could possibly get 2 in, or if Huron doesn't fill theirs, then we would possibly get there. But we have quite a few students that I think are interested in it, so we'll see how that goes and how that fits into our schedule. The next thing that we're gonna have to start sketching out are the policies associated with that, and how that's gonna fit into what our expectations here. So the teachers are working on their course descriptions for me. I'd like to get a registration packet for our students here with the course descriptions in it, and then work on registering for our courses in the following week. So we got a lot of, so I can start building that schedule around needs and wants of our students. Today, Mrs. Hofer and I attended the Perkins Consortium annual meeting in Sioux Falls, and got a lot of great information there. We will be applying for our Perkins money by May 1st, so there's a new way to ask for certain items and see if we get approved for those items, but we have to have that in by May 1st. Third quarter ends Thursday, which is fast upon us. I mean, this year is flying by. So hopefully students will finish things up, and we'll get those grades posted next week. Thursday, March 20th will be our conference night. We are going to run conferences in the middle school, high school from 2 to 5, and then from 5 to 7 do our showcase of The middle school is gonna do a showcase with, science fair, geography project, and a novel project. And then in the high school, the classes are dividing up and doing little, might be activities for elementary kids while their parents are at conferences, or while after they get done eating, because the freshman class does their meal during the showcase, and so they are gonna fundraise for their meal during that time from 5 to 7. And, but we have some good ideas out there. I'll get that out on Facebook and on the school website this week, but the teachers were finishing up with each class. I think the scavenger hunt's gonna be one of them, and just some different activities that the kids are gonna showcase that night. Junior testing will take place March 31st through April 3rd, which is soon, and then middle school will be the 14th through the 17th. And tech-wise, I'm working on numbers for computers for 9 through 12 to get Windows devices for our students next year, and I think that's a huge need. And Chromebooks that we have right now should be able to shift, and so we wouldn't need to buy any of those. We'd be able to use those in the kindergarten class coming in. But we would like to switch over to, and then I'll switch everything to the K-12 domain, which gives us single sign-on privileges, so kids aren't remembering 5 different passwords for different sites. So that's the goal for the upcoming months there. Spring activities, starting Monday. FFA is going wild right now. In the month of March here, their state event is at the beginning of April, 3rd through the 5th, I believe. And then FCCLA hosts all those state events are also coming soon. Track will start Monday. Golf will start March 31st. This is the first day of that. Trying to think if there's anything else there, but, and then the last thing is the PTO bingo. They are trying to fundraise too, and they will do that on April 4th. So, long list, busy time. Any questions, concerns with that?
Is Hero doing any sort of video promotion of the CTE program to, that would maybe be an option to share on our side of things to show some of those CTE options, or what all is included in that? Because like you said, you and some of the kids went, but how do we share with like a larger audience of what's going on?
Well, I think right now, with it being the first year, we're just trying to figure out how it's gonna work. And we are only offering it to seniors.
Okay.
And every junior then this year went to the facility to, I don't think they have a video yet.
Not a video. When they get the actual new CTE building done, I think they're planning on having something. I think they haven't decided anything yet, but they want to do something with the community and the surrounding schools, so that people can come see it. One thing that was mentioned was like have the boards, all the board members, administration people come for like a ribbon cutting, was one of the things that was brought up, but they have not decided anything yet.
And there's still, even today, I was visiting with Hitchcock Tulayer's principal, and, well, have you done a policy on this? Have you? Nope, working on it. Like we're all kind of in collaboration together of how it's gonna look and what it's gonna, and actually how it's gonna fit into everybody's schedule. But we're gonna try to be as flexible as we can with the kids, because we want to give them that opportunity if it's available. If we're not teaching a course here that they can benefit from, then we think it's a good opportunity for them. So, but we'll continue to try to get information out there, and I think once I know what kids are interested in, then I'll develop a letter and for their parents at least, so they have an idea of what to expect too. So.
And the reason I asked that is because with the expansion of like the sports things, I continually hear like, they hear a lot about the sports side of things, but not hearing about the expansion in the CTE side of things. So that's why I'm asking that, is just to help spread the word, basically.
And I think when the Meach trailer, they're gonna go to a training on Thursday for the Meach trailer, and if we can get some, like, as soon as they give us some of those tools, we try to get them out as much as we can. And we did post after, when we were there, about the event, and so we try to get that information as soon as we get it, but it's, like I said, everybody's still in the, like Huron might not have their schedule done until the end of May.
Wow.
So, you know,
Yeah.
we're trying to work through some of that. But
Any other questions? Thank you. Riley.
All right, so we met with Pitts and DGR, just a couple things. So we are gonna have to vacate this alley. So if you look at this packet that I gave you, I'm on at 4:45 with the city on Monday, or next Monday. So they're gonna have to figure some stuff out. So if you look at it, if you look at this one here, the property line for us, looks like we go over, but, and it looks like, so if you look at the other page too, that is all considered part of the city. So they're gonna have to figure out what we wanna do with that. If we could just make it to where we can go, our property line just goes to that grass and then leave everybody, and then they can take everything else. 'Cause technically, I don't think that driveway there, for those people, is technically their driveway. I think it might be an alleyway. So I gotta figure out, well, the city's gotta figure out what they wanna do with that, and if we can just split it. So the ruling is on it that if it's vacated 20 years, you can just split the property, or split the alley. So we would just split that alley with, those two houses, here, and then hopefully that just works out, so. We'll find out Monday, but I don't think it should be a problem. I talked to Dave Jensen, and he said that shouldn't be a problem whatsoever, and if they get to keep that driveway, I think everybody'd be happy, so.
And the black line is splitting it in half?
The black line would be split in half. Or what we would hopefully can do, but we'll see. I think we're probably gonna have to, I'm sure the city's gonna ask if we can survey it, and then just try and get a surveyor out here as quick as we can and get that taken care of. So I'll be interested, because it hasn't been used, and I went back on Google Earth, and it's been the same way for probably 30 years, you know, so, hopefully we can get something figured out with that, but I do meet with them on Monday, and, again, Dave said it should be just fine to vacate it, so, but it'll be up to the city on that one. They plan to open up bidding, as soon as our 20 days is up, so I don't remember what, it was on a Wednesday.
Yeah, it came out on Wednesday.
So, right at the end of the month there, and the day after, they're gonna open up bids. And then they will work with us on the bleachers and pads, but they would rather not be the middleman. They think we'll be able to get a better price if we just go to a company and say, hey, we want this for bleachers, and get what we want, and get the size and everything of what we want. So, they are going to order the playground equipment right away too, as soon as the 20 days is up. So they'll get with our people and get that ordered as soon as they can, and then they want to start that as the day after school ends. So that would be nice to be able to get that construction done. If you guys look, I've sent this out before, but this is a 5-year capital outlay plan. Again, this is a very rough copy. Some stuff will be either added, taken away, whatever, but at least we have something for you guys to look at, and for the community, if they want to come look at it, they can see that, kind of what we're doing. The big thing this year that we're doing is windows. We already have a company that's coming in to do the windows for the entire elementary, so we'll have those done hopefully by school of next year. So, and that's kind of the big thing for us right now. Most of this other stuff is yearly costs that we have to do already. And again, that playground, the playground track, so I just put that in case the opt-out didn't happen. So that will be taken out of the 5-year plan, because that will go with the opt-out. So, if you wanna look through that, there's not really anything too crazy on there. Big things are like furnaces. We're gonna have to get a new bus at some point, either this year or next year. So just gotta know the cost that we're gonna have, so. The other paper that I have for you, we are gonna send out, to the community, we're gonna send it to every household, in case people want to be up on, the donation wall. We're just be asking for donations for renovating bathrooms, updating hurdles and track equipment, adding storage and bleachers. And again, if people wanna donate, they can. I have a few people that already said they'd be willing to donate, for that stuff, so that would just, again, we put out the donation wall for people that, however much money they put on and, do that. So, we'll be sending that out here, hopefully this week, or is it this week? Yeah, this week, we're gonna print out and then stuff envelopes and send those out, so, yeah. The weight room has the turf ordered, so we'll have that entire project will be done, by summer. Brian's gotta finish up painting, and then, all the tiles and everything are laid down up there, and everything's moved. We just gotta get the turf in, and then we're pretty much set after painting, so. Should be good on that. And then again, the windows will get started, this summer, and hopefully be done by the end of summer, for the elementary. And then we have our date set for the new wax on the gym floor, so that's something that we do every year, new wax. So that'll be during the dead period, during July. And then we do have to, replace the volleyball poles.
Sorry, I didn't mean to giggle, but all the basketball games, we had to stop because they kicked that and it came off.
Correct. So, we'll be replacing those as well, for that, so, yes. And then that is all of that.
Any questions? All right, thank you. For Mid Central, they did set a court date. Do you remember for what?
I don't remember what day.
March,
That was the
I'm
end
not
of the
sure.
month.
April, maybe either at the end of the month or at the beginning of the month, so, but we are having a meeting next week, so, but other than that, we haven't had a meeting.
What's that for?
So the court date will be to pretty much end, since nothing's moved on Mid Central, since all of it happened.
Oh, it's, June 23rd.
So Mid Central is the one where, down in Flatware, okay. They have kept Mid Central together because they did not produce an audit. The state needed to produce an audit. And I don't know a whole lot. But being the state didn't produce an audit at this point, Mid Central's attorney is asking that they pretty much just stop.
Resolve.
Yes, so I guess we'll find out if they'll allow it. But, all right, 4?
We have some interviews that are scheduled, would be last week, for the SLP, SLPA, for Woolsey or Oklahoma that I talked about last time. So, good news, we had two applications for an SLP, where in the past, it sounds like we've really not had that, we've only had SLPAs. So it's very exciting to have two of them. They talked about possibly just hiring both of them, because we do have some retirements that likely will come in the next few years. So that's fun, cause that'll come towards our area here. There was a lot on ours this week, let me just make sure. If we're still interested in that prepare training, they're still looking for that.
I talked about that JC, I talked to JC about that.
Perfect.
So.
Okay. There's some proposed change coming for articulation norms. You guys are gonna know way more about this than I do, but they're considering switching to Crow-McLeod norms. So that's something that you guys would look at, that would be effective the 25-26 year for us here. But there are some district procedures that are gonna be updated for core staff is finalizing for core student identification and procedures. They will have to get with each district and tailor those documents once those are done, but that again will also take effect in 25-26 school year. So those are coming out to us soon. I have a list if you wanna see it later. And then the behavior management, so not much feedback was received from that, from the district, so at this time, they just recommended to stick with the optimistic team. Totem PD. Okay. That was it.
Perfect.
social determinants?
That was for like our administrators and anybody here that if a crisis would happen, if they're doing 2-day training, what would you do? Like, what are your steps? How would you react? You know, a lot of which, Riley did last year, we've got a plan set up, but they will go through.
And that's where I have it from, because that's where we did
From
Bear
there.
Cheney and
Yeah.
Beck County, so that's where I got all that stuff from.
So just make sure our administrators and those who are in need have that training and know what to do without just a training for, basically, about assembling, if a crisis would happen.
Is it the PRAPARE prepare? Or is it like two different?
Oh, well, if you're gonna look it up, it's capital PREP, lowercase a, RE is
Okay.
uppercase RE, yes.
In healthcare, we use prepare assessment, and I'm wondering if it's the
Oh, the
same
same.
training.
Yeah.
or
It's
like-
always spelled funky, so.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
More than likely the same thing. It's asking like if they have been able to pay their utilities, get food, transportation, things along. And it's a whole long list of questions.
Sure. This would be, like I said, like more of a crisis if we have like an active shooter or we have
Oh,
something
okay.
like our administration knows what to do. We have the ability to put procedures in place,
Got
things
it.
like that.
So many abbreviations.
I know.
And it's all the same thing.
For sure.
Okay, committee reports. There are a couple policies that Riley's going to be sending to the policy committee to review before the next meeting. Transportation is going to meet.
Yeah, I'd like to meet Mr. Donovan, and I visited with Mason Herman today, and whoever Mr. Donovan feels appropriate for staff. Is it about busing or vehicles or?
Okay.
That's sometime the next couple weeks, Mr. Donovan, if that's.
Yeah, that's
Link up
on my
with you.
radar too, so.
Okay, perfect. Any other, we will start negotiations before the next meeting.
And transportation wise, we did have to tow a bus today to Foreman's, because they didn't want to go over 10 miles per hour. So. That part of it.
Okay?
It's a long bus route.
The plan we have right now for negotiations is we'll meet with them. Like the certified staff will be that week of the 31st, the non-certified will be the following week. And then at the next board meeting, we'll have everything ready hopefully. And then we'll do administrators at that time too. Okay. I think that's it for those. Do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
Motion by Jeff, do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Mason, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign, motion carried. New and unfinished business, calendar 25-26.
I met with our calendar committee, and then the calendar committee went to the staff with this, and then we had a full staff meeting about it, and this is the one that they agreed on. Just some points on here. Our high school goes from 1,004 hours, I think it was, to 1,026. We had about 3.5 days or so on there. So that should start getting us back up to where we're not sitting last in hours. So, yeah, which is good. And then I don't think there's anything too crazy on there. It's pretty much the same as last year. The only difference is we do start on a Monday next year, and the in-service will be the week before that. That will be the only change on there.
I like that. Rather than they just get started at
Thursday, and then, yep.
Do we have any built-in snow days? Or these are built-in, we'll go to school, these won't just be makeup days if we miss school.
So those would be, if we miss school, those would be, we have to go.
We don't have any extra though, like, I'm trying to think of how they
Like
always
if we-
worded it in the past, like they were built in, like if we missed 2 days, we didn't have any that we needed to make up on Fridays.
I
I mean,
Nothing was, this is what I gave, and I didn't hear anything that.
Well, we're gaining 3.5 days, so.
Yeah,
doesn't
those-
that
yeah.
account for it, kinda?
So if you guys want, if we get a snow day, and you guys are okay with doing a day where you don't think that we need to go on a Friday, then you guys can vote on that.
You have so many minutes that you have to meet, and it's 960
60 hours.
hours, so.
Forgive me, I'm gonna ask lots of questions, because I feel like in the past, I don't know that the questions have always been answered in a way that I maybe understood, or that it was correct. So, let's say that, the volleyball team makes it to state in November, and we don't have school. We're going to school January 16th for that, because we close school for that, or,
So that's where we can vote, that's where we can vote and say, that is a day that we can, because since we do not have contracted days, okay, and you follow only the calendar, the only way you can take off a day without making it up would be a board approval.
okay.
Because other than that, because this is what we pay everybody, so we pay them for these days that are on the calendar.
So we're essentially giving them a vacation day, paid,
A
Without
paid
making-
day, if you
if we
want.
don't make it up.
If you
So
don't
if you don't want to make it up, correct.
But you can't go less than 960 hours.
Yes.
Okay.
For your
Not enlightened in that fact before now.
Yes, so that's truly, so any days that we don't, if our staff is not here on one of these days that we have approved, we truly are paying them to not be.
Yeah, it's essentially a salary you're
Yes.
paying them. You're not paying for the hours.
Correct.
Like you are, but
Yes.
you can take hours
Yep.
off, and so you pay for it.
So smart questions? So we only have 4, right? We have 4 built in, so what happens if we have a really, really awful winter and we miss 12 days of school? What happens? I'm sorry, I'm asking, because, again, I feel like it's been different between the different administration, and I want to understand. So what does that look like?
Well, 12 days.
That's a lot, I know, I get it, I'm being exaggerated,
So,
December.
So what would happen,
Yeah.
okay, is you guys would have to vote on what days you'd want to see. So you, in the end, you probably would not make up all those days, but we still would be fine because
We have extra hours.
we have extra hours. Okay, so then we would have to decide on what days you'd want to go on Fridays if we went over that.
So really it was like, I think it was last year, we were concerned about, because we were out of days, out of our Fridays, and then it was gonna snow in March or whatever. And I think we were concerned if we didn't, but I think we have, so say in December we miss 5 days, we can truly pick, we can pick February, or January 2nd to go to school,
Yes.
because it's a teacher day,
Yeah, we have to vote on it.
yes.
Yes.
Our only obligation is that they have 1 Friday off, right? Unless we negotiate that differently.
Correct.
You have that in
We
your.
will have that negotiated.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions on the calendar? All right, do I have a motion to approve the calendar as presented? Motion by Ashley,
I'll second it.
second by Jeff. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carried.
Oh,
Okay, sorry.
You want to read
Are we done?
notifications?
Do we need to read them?
You don't have to. I didn't know if you wanted to see them.
Yeah, I can, that way I can read names, sorry. Okay. At this point, we have a resignation from Mr. Vincent. He was our assistant track coach. Oh, this makes me sad. From Mrs. Fouth for oral and chirp. From Carissa Boomsma for oral and chirp, from assistant oral and chirp. Are these the only 3 you have?
Yes.
Okay. Do I have a motion to approve all 3 of these Carissa Boomsma, Greg Vincent, and Jackie Fowle.
So moved.
Motion by Jeff,
I second.
second by Terry. All those in favor say aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carried. We want to thank them for their time. They have definitely been there for us. Okay, approved contracts for golf. Who's the coaches, sorry?
So head is Austin Tweed
Okay,
and assistant is Leslie Tweed.
okay. I have a motion to approve the golf coaches, head coach Austin Tweet and assistant coach Leslie Tweet.
So moved.
Motion by Jeff. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Ashley. No. So at this
They're
point,
gonna have to be put on a negotiated agreement issue.
is everybody okay with following the other sports head and assistant? I think it's 8.1 for head coach, 6.1 for assistant coach. So we take 8.1% of the base salary, which is $45,000.
Okay.
And that's the head coach, and then the assistant coach will get 6.1% of $45,000. If everybody's okay with that, that isn't currently on the table, we will make sure during negotiations that that's updated. So, at this point, we will approve them. Do you need a motion that we're okaying the pay, since it's not on there?
I'll put in the motion, I'll put that.
Okay, perfect, okay.
Since you guys all agree on.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carried. At this time, we'll go into executive session, South Dakota Codified Law 1-25-2, Section 1 Personnel. Thank you, Julie. You can come back if you want. If you want
I'll
to
be
wait.
here for the whole set anyway, so I'll be around.
Have a good night.
Got a motion in there?
Oh yeah, do I have a motion to go into executive session at 6:06? Ashley moved it.